So it's been a few days since Liverpool lost to Newcastle in the League Cup Final, and only a few days before that we got knocked out of the Champions League by Paris Saint-Germain. Let me tell you one thing, it hurts. It's still hurting right here. Early in January this team was going so well. After Klopp left, we were all a little bit worried, a little bit depressed. We were doing some soul searching. Then Arne came and just took the whole league by storm. First in the league, first in Champions League. Holy shit. Are we going to win the treble this year? Quadruple even? 6 weeks later, only Premier League to go. Only Premier League, they say. It's a huge achievement, don't get me wrong. If we do get the league, it's a huge achievement. However, that guy was like, oh man, this is the perfect storm brewing. Mohamed Salah at his best. Virgil van Dijk came back from his injury at his best. We have new midfield. Szoboszlai looking fantastic. McAllister, Gravenberch, we were looking great. I was actually thinking, in May, I might just go watch the parade. I'll buy a ticket to Liverpool and watch the Champions League in some public viewing in Liverpool and watch the parade and... It's all gone now, isn't it? It's all gone. It's all gone downhill in the space of 1.5 weeks. 3 matches. Newcastle took the League Cup. We're out of the Champions League and here we are. But this is the reality. There's been a few days, so I did a little bit of soul searching myself and thought, why did we lose? Came to the conclusion that Arne was the main culprit. He is responsible for the 3 losses. I believe that. And there are plenty of positives, and I think Slot will bounce back, and I think the future looks bright for Arne Slot and Liverpool fans. So here we go. So firstly, I'd like to go through the matches. First leg against PSG, stats, it looks ugly. 28 attempts to 2. That just says it all, doesn't it? First leg against PSG, they took us by the arse. That's what happened. They pounded us really hard through the arse. I've never seen Liverpool get dominated like this. I can't remember. I really can't remember. Klopp never happened against Klopp. Rodgers, I can't really remember either. Maybe Hodgson era that we lost so hard. But it happened. They took us, they dominated us. Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, they were awesome. Their midfield, Vitinho, Neves, Ruiz, they just outran, muscled us. Then our king, Mohamed Salah, he was anonymous. First leg he was anonymous. Somehow we got away with 0-1, didn't deserve it at all. Then comes second leg, we were better. We made a lot of chances. But again, Salah, our main man, our talisman, he was anonymous. Took the game, 0-1. Additional time, we were anonymous. The whole team was anonymous. Gakpo wasn't even on the field. They looked like scoring, actually. Lee looked good. And then comes the pens. Wow. That was bad, wasn't it? That was in their second kick. I never felt comfortable. Why was he kicking? The man's confidence is as low as it gets right now. But he kicked second and it was ugly. I had my complaints like that offside. The goal looked offside, but they didn't take it. And why the fuck are we playing PSG from the first place? We were first in the league. We're playing arguably the best team played in the playoffs. So, I do have my complaints, but in the end, I have no complaints about PSG going through because I think over the 2 legs, they were the better team. So that's the result. Then comes Newcastle. Out-muscled us from the get-go, didn't they? Mohamed Salah, again, anonymous. Those 3 matches, I didn't see him. Aerial battle, they won 8-17. They dominated us in the air, dominated us on the ground. Physically, mentally, they did look more hungry. They looked more fresh. 2-1. Just looking at these 3 matches, I think we deserve to lose. We deserve to lose 3 matches. We only lost 2, but I think, we deservedly got knocked out of the Champions League, and Newcastle deservedly took the League Cup. And a few days after these losses, I came to the conclusion Arne Slot was responsible for these losses. And I have 2 main reasons. Firstly, lack of rotation, and 2, questionable tactics. Now, first one, the 5 matches leading up to the PSG match. They were tough matches. We had Everton, Wolves, Aston Villa, City, Newcastle. They're league matches, so we had to win them. We had the lead, but it was a slim lead. It was like 5 points, 7 points, so that was slim lead, so they were must wins. You basically started with the same 11, those 5 matches. It's easy to say that in hindsight we should have rotated. But look, in hindsight, I think he should have rotated. Mohamed Salah, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, they just weren't themselves in those matches against PSG and Newcastle. Certainly not nearly to the level that they were earlier in the season. I think it does come down to fatigue, both mental and physical. And we look on the bench. We had Curtis Jones, Nunez, Endo, Elliott, Chiesa. particularly Endo, Elliot, Chiesa. They've only played 8, 6 and 4 matches this season. So they were fresh adds. Endo, Elliot, Chiesa, couldn't they have started maybe against Wolves? I mean, it was hard. We drew against Everton and that Wolves match just became a must-win for us. So he had to go with the best 11. I get it, but again, in hindsight, maybe playing Endo instead of Gravenberg and Chiesa. I always thought Chiesa need more minutes, even before that Newcastle match. And when he came on against Newcastle match, he was easily the sharpest attacker. Probably out of all attackers against PSG and Newcastle, it was Chiesa. And he did show glimpses of promising play in the League Cup. Obviously against Plymouth Argyle, he was not great. But I always wanted to see more Chiesa, and I saw him, he looked sharp. So couldn't he get a bit more minutes in those 5 games prior to that? Easier said than done, but in hindsight, I think he made a mistake of not rotating. Secondly, questionable tactics during those matches. In the first leg against PSG, I know we did get the result. We got exactly what we wanted. We defended, and sneaked in a 1-0 win. But I think even then he was too defensive from the get-go. We were not in the game for 87 minutes. I felt like because they had all of the momentum from the first leg, they took that into second leg, and the first 5-10 minutes of the second leg at Anfield, Liverpool players looked scared. To me, they looked scared. They looked timid. They looked like they were intimidated by PSG. Maybe from the first leg, because, as I said, in the first leg, they took us by the arse. They pounded us harder than anyone I remember. So I feel like first leg almost traumatized the players, and we didn't have a great start to the second leg. They scored, 11th or 12th minute? And look, we fought back well, but we certainly didn't start well. And I reckon that's because we went too defensive in the first leg. And secondly, why the fuck was McAllister marking Dan Burn? Dan Burn's a big lad. He's tall, he's big, strong. McAllister's 176 centimeters, same as me. Not big by any means, not by professional football standard. Not just once, not just twice, 3 times, and even beyond. Even after Dan Burn scored, McAllister was still marking Dan Burn. And look, that's where we lost the match, the aerial threat. And I know after the match he said we were going zonal, and that was McAllister's zone. Then, Newcastle knew that. They put Dan Burn where McAllister defends. They got the results. Perhaps the players are responsible as well. They should have adjusted. Maybe Van Dijk should have told McAllister someone else goes in there. But when you're players, you're not seeing the match as clear. So perhaps Slot could have adjusted during first half from the outside, saying, hey, in the corner kick, Konate or Gravenberg go on to Dan Burn. Konate and Van Dijk goes on the post, and maybe Gravenberg or someone who's a bit taller, someone bigger than McAllister. And I feel like subs and tactical changes were questionable in those 3 matches too. First leg against PSG, he nailed it. Defended, then Nunez and Elliot came on and they scored. So, he did a brilliant job there. But second leg and Newcastle match, I think he got it all wrong. Gakpo, I believe he came on second both matches, but I don't remember. I don't remember him at all. Gakpo at the beginning of the season, he looked sharp. At Euros, he looked sharp, going on that left wing. Didn't see any of that. Additional time against PSG, the whole team was anonymous. We just did not look like we were going to score at all. PSG did. Lee looked really sharp. The second half against Newcastle, what was that? He took Konate off and got Gravenberg in there. And after that, I think towards the end we had Chiesa and Nunez as a central striker. I had no idea what he was trying to do. Okay, he got the rewards of got the goal as a reward, but I've never seen him use that this season. So he went for a very experimental tactics at Wembley and in the final, and for me that was questionable. If I've seen that before and if it worked, yeah, go for it. But at Wembley in a cup final, that's not where you want to see the manager experiment. So, for these reasons, I feel like tactically he was questionable. However, having said all this, I do feel like he's the right man to take Liverpool forward, and I do feel like he'll be back, bouncing back, bigger, better, stronger than ever. He's clearly a great tactician. I think he's more of a tactician than a man manager. And during those press conferences, his demeanor and his mannerism, he looks humble. I really like that about him. So the aura is there. But so why did he drop the ball in these 3 matches? Quite simply, I think it's lack of experience. So I did a bit of research. For 15 years, he was a professional football player, but he mainly played in the first and second division in the Dutch league. And as a manager, he's only managed the team for 5.5 years. And compare that to like Klopp. Klopp, I think, managed Mainz for 7 years and Dortmund for 7 years. So after 14 years, he came to Liverpool. And at Dortmund, he won the Bundesliga twice, and he went to the Champions League final once. So he had all the experience there for him to succeed at Liverpool. On the other hand, Arne Slot, as a manager, he's only been managing for 5.5 years. He's only managed 200 games as a manager. He's still learning the craft. And more importantly, as a player, he never played in the Champions League, and he's only managed 6 matches in the Champions League as a manager. So it's fair to say that he has never experienced like the top quality football as a player or a manager. He was in an unknown territory, and I feel like that showed against PSG, and that loss kind of dragged him against Newcastle as well. So after the PSG loss, his first words were, "It was the best game of football I was ever involved in." So I think he acknowledges that. I wouldn't say it was out of his depth, but it was certainly a first-time experience for him. That PSG match, the tension. The whole world is looking at him, And the quality of football was great. Like, second leg was a great match. Like, that could have been a Champions League final. So we were very close, but we couldn't get over the line. I believe the biggest reason for that is because Arne Slot was inexperienced at that level. But look, I think he will bounce back because of this experience. Jurgen Klopp lost that Champions League final against Real first before he won it. I mean, this is his managerial career summary, and he's been second or champion, 6 times in 5.5 years? Well, and he's about to be Premier League champion as well. What has impressed me most is here, his league average points. He's averaged over 2.4 points in the last 3 seasons, which equates to about 91 points over 38 games. So he's clearly a league manager more than a cup manager. There's no doubt he knows what he's doing. He's an amazing tactician, an amazing manager. He just lacked that experience. And now that he's got that experience under his belt, I'm confident he'll become a better manager, and I'm confident Liverpool Football Club under Arne Slot will flourish for years to come. Tell me what you guys think. Was he responsible for the loss, or were the players responsible for the loss? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Be emotional, be passionate. See you.